show was made possible with the continued support of the Gray Snow Poker affiliates.
Well, we meet again. Another stroll through the fire we call online gambling news. And we have a hot one for you this week with stories that will puzzle and perplex and simply piss you off. And once again, we begin in Sweden, where last month we reported that authorities in that country were considering a complete closure of all internet betting over public health concerns during the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember that, public health concerns. Then, just last week, we reported that the actual online gambling activity in Sweden had fallen during the coronavirus outbreak, and yet, apparently undeterred, the Swedish propaganda minister, the Swedish Minister for Social Security is pushing forward with plans to restrict web-based casino games. Those restrictions would cap weekly deposits on such games at about £400, $500, but as betting on internet casino games has fallen in Sweden, betting on horse racing has exploded by nearly 40%. And here's where the shit gets deep. The minister intends to exempt horse racing and sports betting from his deposit limit restriction. But why? If these limits are all about public health concerns, remember those? Yeah, then why exempt horse racing? Well, the Swedish Online Gambling Trade Association, BOS, was wondering about the same thing. And they noted that this exemption would mostly benefit Swedish horse betting company ATG with, quote, a majority of its board members appointed by the government, end quote. BOS went on to say that because of the horse racing exemption, it's obvious that these deposit limits have nothing to do with consumer protections. But they did stop short of calling the minister an asshole. And far be it from me to say that the man is an asshole. Unless, of course, I just did. I'm a tricky one. See what I did there? I zigged. He thought I was gonna zag, but I zigged. Okay, so we've discussed what is puzzling and what is perplexing, but before we get on to what will piss you off, I have information on the latest promotion from Intertops that affiliates can offer to their players to help roll out the addition of the Vegas Lux slot on their Intertops Red property. They will be offering an introductory special of up to $1,250 and 50 free spins from now through the end of June. For more information or to join their program, you visit affiliate.intertops.eu. Okay, so now on to the bad stuff. You guys know that I joke around on this program a lot. I mean, I make sarcastic comments, occasionally call people assholes, but this final story is actually difficult for me. Some of you may recall news from 2017 where a Playtech subsidiary failed to identify a problem gambler. This player had many red flags with addictive behavior. But instead of taking action to stop this player, the company offered him a VIP account. This player, this young man, was eventually allowed to lose nearly 120,000 pounds until, at the age of 25, he took his own life. The Playtech controlled company surrendered its gambling license at that time. But even though I give the UK Gambling Commission a hard time, especially recently, thank God they continued to investigate this issue, finding systematic failures in player protection. Well, I would think so. I mean, we can agree that's a massive understatement. Today, as I film this, Playtech accepted full responsibility and made a bunch of promises and pledges for money, yada, 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 none of which are going to bring back this young man to his family. What monetary value, after all, do you place on someone's child? Yes, I often come out here and preach personal responsibilities, and I still wholeheartedly believe in that. But what happened in this case was the equivalent of pouring whiskey down the throat of a drunk alcoholic. It was irresponsible, and it was sickening, and it was all about the money. So I hope there are consequences, and real consequences, for this. And now, before I end up saying something that I probably shouldn't about this, I'm going to take my leave. And God willing, we'll all meet back here again next week.